Every single day we wake up, we face an undeniable truth. We are alive. It's a reality that can be both exhilarating and sobering, especially when you realize that at any moment, everything could change. You could face a life-altering event, or a doctor's prognosis, or a sudden shift that makes you acutely aware of how finite your time on this earth truly is. This is a reality we all face, but just because life is fragile doesn't mean we have to shrink from it. Instead, it's an invitation to live more fully, to embrace the present moment, and to pursue the best version of ourselves, no matter how much time we have left. And if we need guidance on how to live with clarity and purpose in the face of life's uncertainties, we can look to the ancient philosophers who mastered the art of living, the Stoics. Among them, no figure stands more powerful and revered than Marcus Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor who faced mortality. Every day. Imagine being the ruler of the most powerful empire on earth, while also dealing with the suffering of war, plague, and your own personal battles with illness and mortality. That was Marcus Aurelius, a man who didn't just talk about philosophy, he lived it. As emperor, Marcus Aurelius had the weight of an empire on his shoulders, yet he didn't let the chaos of his position distract him from his inner peace. He wrote meditations, his personal journal, his reflections on life, his efforts to understand the world and himself, during a time when his body was deteriorating, when the Roman Empire was at war, and when the plague was ravaging his people. Yet despite all of this, he didn't give in to despair. Instead, he found strength in philosophy. Marcus didn't live in denial of death. He didn't bury his head in the sand or distract himself from the hard truths of life. He knew better than most that we are all living on borrowed time, but that very understanding didn't paralyze him. It propelled him forward. In his writings, Marcus often returned to a central theme, the acceptance of death. It's not something to fear, not something to run from. It's simply a part of life. As he wrote, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. In those words lies a profound call to action. Live as though your time is limited, because in reality, it is. Stoic wisdom for living fully. Right now. This is where Stoicism, and Marcus Aurelius in particular, offer us the tools to live with purpose and clarity. Stoicism isn't just some old dusty philosophy. It's a practical framework for dealing with the challenges of life, understanding our emotions, and living virtuously, regardless of the circumstances we find ourselves in. The Stoics didn't believe in avoiding discomfort or pretending that life would be easy. They understood that life is, by nature, unpredictable. But they also believed that we have the power to control our reactions to whatever comes our way. Marcus Aurelius' teachings are steeped in practical wisdom that can be applied to modern life. These lessons can help us handle stress, manage our expectations, build resilience, and ultimately lead lives filled with more meaning and purpose. The power of perspective. Embrace the present moment. One of Marcus Aurelius's most powerful Stoic principles is that everything is a matter of perspective. How you view the events around you is what determines their impact on you. You can't control what happens in the world, but you can control how you react to it. When faced with difficult situations, whether it's stress at work, conflicts with people, or even a life-threatening diagnosis, Marcus reminded himself, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This is crucial because no matter how hard we try, we can't avoid the inevitable challenges of life. But we can choose how we respond. Imagine how liberating it would be to live without being overwhelmed by every difficulty. If we adopt the Stoic practice of shifting our focus to what we can control, our thoughts, actions, and attitude, we can face adversity with strength, grace, and calm. Control what you can control and let go of the rest. Another cornerstone of Stoicism is the distinction between what's in our control and what's not. Marcus Aurelius believed that our task is to focus entirely on what we can control, our actions, thoughts, and intentions, and release the need to control external events. How often do we worry about things outside our control? What others think of us? How the world will respond to our actions, or circumstances that we can't change? Stoicism teaches us to release that burden. Marcus wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. You cannot control the actions of others, the weather, or the future, but you can control your attitude and your response to any situation. Recognizing this gives you the freedom to act without fear of external forces, knowing that the most important thing is how you choose to think and behave. The impermanence of life. Embrace mortality to live fully." Marcus Aurelius lived in constant awareness of the transience of life. The Stoics were deeply aware of death, not as something to fear, but as a natural and inevitable part of existence. In fact, embracing the reality of death is one of the most powerful teachings in Stoicism. Marcus would often remind himself, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." By keeping death in mind, we're reminded that our time is limited. We are often consumed with trivial concerns, distractions, and things that don't truly matter. But when you truly embrace the idea that life could end at any moment, you naturally begin to prioritize what really counts: love, virtue, integrity, and doing good in the world. Marcus didn't let his awareness of death make him anxious. Instead, it made him focused. "Life is very short," he wrote, "and yet people are always running after things that will not bring them any true joy. Why waste time on things that don't matter? Virtue is the only true good." Marcus Aurelius' Stoic philosophy centered on the idea that the only true good is virtue. Power, wealth, and fame are fleeting and ultimately hollow. It is our character, our integrity, and our ability to act justly, courageously, and wisely that constitute real value. No matter what happens in the external world, your virtue, your inner strength, and moral compass remains yours. Marcus wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts, and the quality of your thoughts depends on the virtues you cultivate: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance." The Stoics were all about mastering their inner world. They knew that the true measure of a life well lived is not in external achievements, but in living according to the highest moral standards, regardless of external circumstances. Live with purpose. The art of being present. Another essential Stoic teaching is the idea of living with purpose. Marcus Aurelius didn't simply exist. He knew he was put on this earth for a reason: to serve and to do good. His role as emperor was important, but so was his role as a human being, living a virtuous life, improving himself, and contributing to the world. The question for you today is, what is your purpose? It doesn't matter if you're not emperor of Rome. Your life is still incredibly meaningful. Like Marcus, you have an opportunity to serve, to improve, and to live a life that leaves a positive impact. Live with intention, because every moment matters. You're not dead yet, and that's a gift. You may not have centuries like Marcus or Seneca. You may not have years to waste, but you do have today. You have this moment. Just like the Stoic philosophers, you have the opportunity to live a life of virtue, purpose, and meaning right now. You're still alive. That means you can still create, still improve, still do good, and still change your life. Marcus Aurelius didn't wait for ideal circumstances. He took action in the face of death, disease, and chaos. And so can you. Every day you wake up, you're given a chance to be better, to live according to your values, and to make a difference. You may not know how many more moments you'll have, but one thing is for sure. This moment is yours. How will you use it? How will you live this life that you've been given? Will you act with purpose, with clarity, and with the resolve of a Stoic? You are not dead yet, and that's the greatest gift you have. Use it well.